Welcome to the new moon in Cancer. That is literally like this very second. This very second is starting. So, hi, welcome. I am super excited. I love doing invocation so much, and today when I was meditating up the canyon, I got all these delicious downloads. So, we're going to be talking about quantum leaping versus quantum flight today, and we're going to be calling in some pretty heavy, intense energy. So heavy is the wrong word. Light, super light, like so light. But like you're dealing with the energy of creation here, and also new moon in Cancer. So new moon in Cancer already is hi everyone. Hi Susan, hi Christina, hi Trinity. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like I'm just fucking glowing. Like, good thing my husband is snipped, or I'd be really worried right now. But I know it's just because these dragon invocations, y'all, oh my gosh, these bespoke dragon invocations have been so supercharged. I'm literally like rubbing amethyst because it's like helping me. Somehow amethyst is grounding me. Like, that's how high I feel I am, that I'm like, okay, can I just hang out in the 7th chakra for a little bit to explain all this? Okay, so Black Moon. Black Moon, we already always tend to think about Lilith. So I actually pulled today 6 cards total, but each Divine Feminine card is paired with a Dragon card is how they came out. So we're going to kind of talk about them in pairs. Very Rosie. Oh, thank you. Oh, Rosie the Riveter. Yeah, let's do that. We can do it with the chakras. Yeah, perfect. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna talk about Lilith for a second. Where is she? Lilith. When you hear the Black Moon, a lot of people talk about Lilith, and Lilith is the first woman, so Adam's first wife, that was his equal. So unlike Eve, who was created from one of Adam's ribs and therefore subservient to him and was cursed with the curse of childbirth and forever like demonized for eating of the fruit of the knowledge of the fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Holy crap, that's so hard to say. So Lilith was the first woman, though. The first woman who was like, I don't need no woman. I'm a grown-ass woman. I don't need no man, right? So the first woman, I am the voice of my body and soul. I choose the life that I desire to live. So she literally is the epitome of like the woman who's like, I don't need to follow your rules. And if you want to like be mad about that, then that's fine. I'm going to go off in the wilderness and literally don't give a shit about what you say. So of course, when those men who were writing the Bible came across any scriptures or scrolls or stories about Lilith, they did not like that, and therefore she is someone that you learn about her through like learning about the traditions of Magdalena or through reading Gnostic texts. You're not going to find any story of Lilith in Genesis, okay? Because she is literally the epitome of like anti-patriarchy, to the point where lots of people call Lilith the serpent. So the serpent who convinces Eve to eat of the fruit, right, is very often considered Satan, or even like Lilith had gone to Satan, so kind of like a Persephone-ish sort of story, and was like choosing Satan over God and over Adam. There's all sorts of like ideas and stories. So it's really the most important thing I want you guys to all start realizing as new information comes into you. This is about your relationship with God. This is your relationship with Source. There might be some things that I say that you're just like, no, that's not how it goes at all. And that's fine. Open yourself. Be curious. But if it's not landing for you, then that's fine. Like, I might just not know something you do. That's why I'm always open. Like, teach me, right? So I tell you this because when I'm telling you guys that you need to sing your unique song, when you have to really use that voice for yourself in these higher planes of dimensions, we really are talking about discernment and deciding for yourself what path works. I have a whole metaphysical toolbox filled with amazing tools for you. Other people have it too. Mine is very high energy, get shit done. What we're going to be talking about in a minute, but the difference between quantum leaping and quantum flight. So the dragon that came up with Lilith today is Archangel Gabriel's dragon, which I have talked to you guys about him before. So the fact that he keeps coming up is just like, it means that we haven't quite learned the lesson yet. So it's not that we haven't learned the lessons, but we really have to like embody it. Like in this picture, you see Lilith's like whole heart is lit up in this like diamond light. That's what Archangel Gabriel does, right? And Archangel Gabriel was the archangel that comes to Mary, right? And when she immaculately conceives, and she was able to immaculately conceive because priestesses of Isis and Hathor back in ancient Egyptian times, that was like a part of really high ranks oracular priestesses, was they could like take their own energy and merge it together and immaculately conceive. That is absolutely like a normal tradition in Egyptian mystery schools. So the fact that Mother Mary knew how to do that was because she was of a very high level Essene mystery school. She started training at the age of 4 years old for the fulfillment of her prophecy, and her prophecy was to immaculately conceive and birth Jesus Christ. Lilith already knew how to do that shit, guys. She's the first woman. So all divine feminine magic here on earth derives from Lilith. So on a black moon, Lilith is also known as the black moon. Black moons only happen every 2.5 to 3 years. So what that means is that today is the second new moon in the same zodiac sign. So the first one was around solstice and Father's Day, and then this one is the second one. So if there was stuff that was coming up around Father's Day for you, now is your time to be like, no, I set this decree. This is what's going to happen. No more messing around. You probably went through a lot of stuff with your family this last month because that's where Cancer like really rules and clears out that energy. A lot of stuff coming up around like the patriarchy of your family and clearing that bloodline. So now that you've done that clearing, this new moon is really giving us that opportunity to set in Archangel Gabriel's diamond, which is a cosmic tool for ascension. So when you start running cosmic diamond light, I can't ever like get a picture of it, but you guys, I'm not shitting you, my skin is now like diamond-y when I go outside. Like the glow that Trinity is talking about, I have lights on me right now so that I can be seen, but like I always look like I'm glowing, like I'm pregnant, and like sparkly and shiny, like I have glitter all over me when I'm in the sun, like the Twilight fucking vampires. And it's weird, but I know it's because I've activated the crystalline DNA and the crystalline dragon codes, and that's because I work so much with Archangel Gabriel's diamond, which is a cosmic diamond. And what he says here is it brings that purification. It clears out. Holy crap, yeah, see? Wow, Father's Day time we lost a job and had $1,300 stolen from the employer. See? Yeah, crazy stuff. All sorts of crazy things were happening around there. And so now you're being purified. Like that's cleared out of your system now, and you get to choose that that's a pattern. Like that was a dark night of the soul. That was a quantum leap that fell into a dark night of the soul situation, which happens a lot with leaping. When you're leaping around from place to place and not soaring, you fall a lot during your patterns because you haven't really gotten down like the flight path. You don't know where you're really going. And that's why this diamond really helps with that ascension, right? And so the self-discipline part, so that's what I mean, the self-discipline, like learning how to go into quantum flight is self-discipline. It's hiking up the mountain every day even when you don't want to. It's doing your naked mirror mantras even though you feel like pretty good about your life right now. It's sitting there and eating up the ooey gooiness of things not going exactly the way you wanted them to, the way your ego wanted them to, and instead standing in the purity of being the light, of being the beacon, right? Yeah, I fucking vibrate too, Trinity. I know exactly what you're talking about. So that's these two. So Lilith holds within her Archangel Gabriel's cosmic diamond. So if you call upon her, just like they're really working together right now to bring that pure story of Christianity, the pure, like, Revelations 13 and 14 talk about a red dragon that's chasing a pregnant woman out of the sky. And the way that it's written and the way that other, like, Christian-based researchers have said they call the dragon Satan, and that's totally wrong. The dragon's actually, like, following the woman to make sure. So it's all written all fucked up. So if you go and read it, you're like, oh, they're totally, like, battling the dragon. That's because there was this war. There was this war during the Crusades where we tried to rid of the dragon energy from our planet because humans got afraid of creating miracles. They got afraid of being so closely in conversation with magic because we knew what happened the last time during the Age of Atlantis when everything got fucked up. So if you've ever read Edward Casey and his talk about the Atlanteans, like, that's what I'm talking about. So we actually have in our DNA, like, this this block, like a governor on our DNA systems that will cause us to start to overload if we get too close to 12D into pure magic, because our race has fucked it up before. So it takes us being able to say, no, I've learned my lessons. No, I can stand on my own. And hi. Running super high energy, if we remember correctly. So I've got the kids turned off of any internet, and I've opened the door, so hopefully the Wi-Fi doesn't crash again, because on my phone apparently it doesn't just, like, yeah, I don't know what's happening. Anyway, I run super duper high energy, and I'm still working through the enjoyment that I have when the live streams just stop. Okay, so Lilith we talked about in the first video, so if you missed that, go watch Lilith. The second set of divine feminine and dragon energy going on right now is the rage. Okay, I wanted to talk about the rage, right? So if we can realize, like, I was getting pretty heated and fiery when I started talking about Revelations 13 and 14 and the Dragon War, and I'm literally writing the book on this right now, guys. I am a pure channel for Dragon Code energy. I am my DNA is coded with dragon energy. I've had readings done where really high level psychics and intuitives are like, I don't know what you are. And then I'll say, like, well, I'm a dragon, and it makes perfectly good sense. There's actually a spot in my back that's like a cord all the way through. So, like, what I know is pure truth around dragon energy. Other shit like unicorns and mermaids and fairies and stuff like that, I will refer you out. But if you have questions about dragons, I got you. Turn the flame down a little bit, right? Okay, so it can be really frustrating though, right? It can be annoying when you read people talking about reptilian, evil, satanic, worshipping, child molesting grossness, and then say, so they're very draconian and very dragon-like. Like, no. Dragons are pure love. They have heart wombs. They create purely from the loving intention and instantly manifest. There's no gross shit. Okay? So please, we don't slay dragons. Dragons are not demons. They are not monsters. They are monsters, but like in the mythical, like we're all trying to become that mythical, but they're not fucking evil. So let's just set that clear. And the priestess, the goddess that I use the most when I get really fiery, that's a great word, and really worked up and my rage starts really like bubbling and I get super freaking frustrated, is Sekhmet. Okay, so Sekhmet, I'm also a Leo, so if you hadn't figured that out yet, I am. So Sekhmet is the lioness goddess of Egypt, and she's the goddess of rage and of war, actually. So when two warring factions were fighting, they would pray to Sekhmet that their rage and that their honor was more powerful than the opposing side. And she would then determine the winner of the war, essentially based on how she liked them or not, whether she was pleased by their offerings, right? So she is the Red Lady. So if you've ever heard that song, Lady in Red, I don't know why, but I always think about this card. I am pure strength. I honor my anger by giving a voice to it. So this is the second thing talking about a voice, right? So Lilith, she talks about how I am the voice of my body and soul. So that's really like embodying, Lilith really embodies that 12D, like I'm a human, I'm living here on planet Earth, but I'm sovereign. I make all of my choices, and I make all my choices because I allow myself to experience the sensation of whatever it is and choose pleasure or pain. So that's where this anger can come in. Like, am I going to use my anger and like blow it off and just let it and explode where there's no focus? Or are you going to learn, one of the tools I teach my clients is called a controlled temper tantrum, or dragon's breath meditation, where we throw a toddler level temper tantrum at all of our blocks, not in a woe is me, like, oh, why is all this stuff happening to me, but like, no, I know that I weave my own fate. I know that if I do X, Y, Z, because I got intuitive hits from all of my guides, that this result should happen. So, hey guides, so I literally have sworn at angels. I have sworn at every single deity that I could think of, at all of my guides, at all of my ancestors, and I've been like, I did all of it. I did that really fucking scary thing. I was dancing around in my lingerie in front of 100 people singing in dragon tongue. I did all these other crazy things, and, you know, very Jerry Maguire, show me the money, right? Like, just like, hey, Archangel Michael, how about you go take your sword and shove it up your, like, just super irritated. But then I like gather it and remind myself, no, I am a living vessel here on earth for this mission. They are my spiritual entourage, and sometimes I just gotta whip them into shape. So I will use the fact that I'm a lion, and I will use Sekhmet, and I will call her in and be like, girl, we gotta have a meeting. We gotta have a staff meeting. So if you've ever read Think and Grow Rich, when Napoleon Hill describes the mastermind, I do that. We have like good meetings, but sometimes I call a mastermind where I bitch out my whole spiritual team, tell them how we're doing the work and that being in 3D is fucking hard, and holding the vibration, having to like ground in 7th dimension pretty much so that I am at least still in my body, is hard work. And so if I do the things that they tell me to do, then I should reap the rewards. If I go out there and I do all the gardening and I take all the slugs off and I do all the things, I expect a harvest, right? I'm here on earth to play the game of pleasure and pain. I've done pain. It fucking sucks. I'm ready for the pleasure part, right? But she gives that voice to the anger, right? So I'm not sitting there crying and whining and, oh my God, why isn't it happening? I take a very authoritative, author of my own story approach and say, okay, so this block here of still not having consistent, you know, bookings. Right now I'm like trying to get booked on podcasts and interviews and all that stuff to talk about dragons more. Like that's a very recent controlled temper tantrum that I had. Like, hey y'all, you have me doing all this stuff and I have all these amazing offers and I have all this knowledge and I'm writing this book and I'm doing all these things. Where are my interviews? Where are my pitches? Like, where is it? And like, I don't know, a day later, someone messaged me out of the nowhere and they're like, we love your dragon stuff. Will you come? Right? So like, it's pretty instant. It's just, you have to, there will be areas of your place where you're just used to getting angry and the anger just like blows off of you, or it's like the final tipping straw if you're used to shoving it down. Sekhmet helps you use that voice. But not just any voice, I tell you. No, 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 no. From the blue dragon from the Pleiades, okay? So you guys are going to hear me talking a whole lot about Pleiadian throat chakras, because at the beginning of this month, right before the full moon, I actually had a chakral reanimation session done where we moved all of my chakras back to a 10 out of 10 vibrancy for my soul's mission. And when we got to my 5th chakra, there actually was a Pleiadian who came in and took over for the channel who was doing all the work. And she upgraded my throat chakras to, like, I no longer have a human throat chakra, I guess is the best way to say that. Like, when I speak, you are getting a Pleiadian frequency sent to you no matter what language I'm speaking. It's also the reason why the dragon invocations have been coming out more with English words than before, when it was always just in light language and dragon tongue. So the blue dragon from the Pleiades prepares you to accept source healing. Accept a heart activation, give and receive heart healing. So the Pleiadians have their hearts in their throats. So that sounds weird to us, but it's the fact that they only speak the truth. And when you hear that term, like the cold-hearted truth, that's where that phrase comes from, is from the Pleiadians. So, like, I'm saying that and like I'm literally swallowing every 5 seconds because I haven't talked about this out loud yet, so I can feel the energy clearing. So the anger, that's what I mean. Like, this gives your anger. So for those of you who are really into causes, who are really here to fight for social justice, who are here, you know, using your voice and your platform to speak out against different atrocities and other evil shit in the world. When you have Sekhmet as your overlighting mentor for the anger, you can focus it through source healing, higher heart levels, so that you are speaking that, like, I know you don't want to hear this, babe. And that's why I can guarantee you 100% of my clients have hired me because of the fact that I'm a blunt bitch. Because of the fact that I know how to speak the cold-hearted truth while also holding you in pure love and pure space to allow for you to expand. The reason why it seems so cold-hearted is because I have clients who come to me and they tell me that they're a 2nd grader and I'm a PhD level professor, and I'm like, no, you're not. You are a PhD level student. Get your shit together. I'm not here to hear you bitch about it, right? So I hold the space for them to step up, not because I'm like an Olympic coach, right? Like the fastest runner in the world, his coach isn't even a runner, but that fastest runner in the world trusts this guy to hold the space to let him get better. So that's what I do. That's why when I say I train energetic Olympians, that's what a fucking dragon is. We don't take time. We don't take as much human linear time to get through things. We alchemize and get through shit in hours that used to take us days or weeks or months. We go through 30 and 90-day cycles while everyone else is going through year or 2-year cycles. So, like, quantum flight, which we're about to talk about in 1 second. So those are those two. Last week, we talked about the Omega Dragon, okay? We did a whole vocal toning with the Omega Dragon. But it's a black moon today again, right? A new moon. So the Omega Dragon is, again, the divine birther, the divine mother of all. And she harnesses that divine feminine power of creation, that space in the womb for things to grow, right? So if I'm holding space for my energetic Olympians to grow up, I have to have a pretty big container, right? And I have to know how to grow and expand the same way, like when I was pregnant, my belly knew how to grow and expand, even though I wasn't consciously like, okay, uterus, get bigger. No, my field has just gotten big enough that I can hold really high level people who are like, okay, well, if money disappears tomorrow, though, like, I'm really good with my money situation. That's not my problem. My problem is that if money disappears tomorrow, then what? Like, do I know how to fly? No. Do I know how to bilocate? No. Do I know how to astral project and actually remember what happened? No. Like, really high level psychic stuff, like, okay, I'm ready to download the energy from the Pleiadians and actually create some of their spiritual technology. Because if money doesn't exist tomorrow because of whatever happening, I still want to be able to enjoy and live my human life. So they're expanding and going to that next level already. while still really enjoying human life, right? So you have that intention, right? I have yet to actually coach a client who could get all the way to bilocating, but the fact that we think about it and we're moving those blocks and we're creating that pathway, as Napoleon Hill says, your thoughts are things. So the fact that these clients come to me and have that childlike wonder, like compassionate curiosity, I wonder if I really could like rearrange my cells so that when certain people who have enough higher like frequency opening look at me, they don't see me as a human anymore, but they actually see me as a dragon. How cool would that be, right? And you can see in my face that I like really want to learn how to do that. I have a dream of giving my inaugural speech in 2025, and everyone who's opened up their heart and higher chakras enough won't see me as a human. They'll see me in my dragon form instead. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. So that's what the Omega Dragon does, is really what you had that dream. That's amazing. Oh my gosh, so good. So that's what the Omega Dragon, she's just like coming to remind us that she's already been invoked last week, and it was during the waning moon and some grief was getting processed, but she's still here during the black moon time while we're setting those new moon intentions. And as I've been talking about, when you set a new moon intention, any intention, an intention is a decree of something you accept and claim right now. You claim it to be now. Not I will have, I have. Not I will be, I am, right? So I am a millionaire mompreneur. I am booked out through October with Bespoke Dragon Invocations. I am booked out through the end of the year with podcasts and interviews. I am an international best-selling author, right? Those are the ways that you proclaim an intention and you claim it now, like right now, and not so you don't like write an intention for your new moon and then spend the next 28 days figuring out like what are you going to do if it goes wrong. So that's where we go into quantum flight. So we're going to talk about quantum flight for a second. Are we? I think I'm going to do a live later on quantum flight, actually. Quantum flight and quantum leaping. Just realize that quantum leaps are like, first of all, have you ever seen anyone like jump and they're doing a leap in a movie and they go up? They actually never go up, right? They actually are like on the taller building and they leap, but they like land below them, right? So quantum leaping has a whole lot of like, you need a lot of energy to run. You need a lot of energy to jump. You need a lot of like trust that there's a fucking thing right there to catch you, right? And it's always catch you because you're like free falling. You leap, but then you're literally like no longer in control because you fucking leapt. And that was old paradigm. So why am I telling you this? Kali Ma. Black moon, Kali Ma. So if you've been trying to manifest in a certain way and it hasn't been working, it's because you're probably still manifesting in the 5th to 7th dimensional way but you're now running 12th dimensional energy. So you're trying to figure out like, why is it all the bad things I think happen really fast, but all the good things I think aren't happening? It's because you haven't upgraded. You know, you haven't updated your phone, essentially. You haven't updated your software. So Kali Ma is coming through this black moon in Cancer, and she is the mother of the universe. Literally, mother of the universe, here together. But you don't think about Kali Ma as a mother. We always think about her as a destroyer, right? So she is, I release all that doesn't serve me. It's time to be the truth of who I am. Okay, and the truth of who you are is the mother creatrix of all life. You are a manifestation of the creator, right? You are an aspect of the creator, fully manifest in form, here to sing your own unique song, creating your own life, creating your own experience in duality, and you're leaping. You're jumping, hoping that things are going to work out, not really sure, having to like have this crazy trust exercise every 5 seconds, holding like, okay, shit, that was really scary. Okay, Okay, I used a lot of energy to leap over that building. Like, that was a whole lot of energy. And I don't think I have that. So you sit around walking on your building for a little while, and you're like, okay, I can do this. Okay, I think so. Okay. And, or sometimes you collapse. So how many times have you missed? How many times? This is the quantum leap. And it turns into a dark night of the soul instead. And it's another lesson to learn, and you have to come all the way through. So Kali Ma is coming to tell us the time of quantum leaping is fucking over. Okay, I thought I was going to do another live later, but apparently not. The time of quantum leaping is over. It's fucking over. Now is the time of quantum flight, also known as, oh, you guessed it, dragon flight. Think about how flying is different than leaping. I'm going to grab my water that's right there while you guys type and answer. How is flying different than leaping? And then we're going to do the invocation. But answer that question while I grab water real quick. No answers? Okay. Wow, fucking powerful. Yeah. So, flying is different than leaping because you have a flight path, right? You know exactly where you're going. You have to tell the control people, right? Yeah, you're in charge of the destination, right? You have a destination to begin with. You have one. You're not like, I don't know, maybe if I jump to here, to here, to here, to here, maybe I'll end up somewhere. You have an actual destination that you're going to. Because you soar like an eagle, you never land on the ground unless you choose to. Wind beneath my wings. Exactly. So if you do exert energy, it's like a quick, and then you open up your wings again and you can use the air current to keep soaring. Like if you watch, like I've been watching a ton of dragonflies every day, and I'm like, I don't even see their wings moving really. Or hummingbirds move their wings super duper fast, but then they still like can catch a breeze, right? If you watch an eagle flying, that's exactly what they do. They're not sitting there like, or the geese. Are the geese going like this every time you see them? No, they're like, ooh, I'm catching some air, man. Exactly. So you might need a little bit of speed, and you do. So the first like long while of your spiritual journey, some of you guys have been doing this for 20 or 30 years before you find me. It's very normal. Is because you were running against the patriarchy, and the older you are actually, the more that was already encoded in you and you had to fight and pull against it, right? It's like reaching the critical mass or the critical velocity to finally escape the Earth's gravitational pull, right? So a rocket ship uses like 80% of its fuel just to get out of the gravitational pull of Earth, and the other 20% to make it to the moon. And it takes, the rocket has to go 25,000 miles per hour to get out of Earth's gravity, okay? It takes a lot of energy to move from your first chakra of survival, fight or flight, into the higher chakras of flying, okay? It is a fucking journey. I know it. I honor you. I witness you in wherever you are in your journey. You probably quantum leaped. Like, you were probably in here, and then you're like, oh shit, I'm already here. I have the will. I did all this super fast. Maybe you went from here to here super fast. But moving from your 7th dimensional chakra up to those higher levels of the causal chakra and the stellar gateway and the cosmic gateway, and being able to pull that energy in and hold it and not have your human nervous system like short out on you, is why you need to stop using so much energy with quantum leaping through your life and move into this idea of ease and flow and grace, of quantum soaring, of quantum flight. Because yeah, you can very easily fly for, like, I take off and then I fly up here just fine, and it's really just the first like running and getting some, and then I'm flying really fucking easy, right? see what else. Flying takes less energy and you go further. Exactly. Flying is like moving, but in destination, quantum leaping involves complete trust and not knowing where you're going. Exactly. I've been doing this a year. Yes. It's out of survival mode and into living mode, into thriving mode. You're not even just living, you're fucking thriving. It's what I was saying the other day. The most radical act that a human can even commit in 2020 is decreeing that their life is blissful and prosperous and filled with love and filled with success and filled with wealth. And that you're constantly expanding higher and higher, which is why flying, again, you have to expand your wings. What happens if you close your wings? Boom! Crash landing, right? And you have to know that your wings are in integrity, right? So all of this comes from the fact that we're moving away from human DNA. We're no longer running on carbon-based DNA. And every time you hear me even speaking during a Sunday morning coffee with Karen or any of my little lives that I jump on, you're receiving that blue Pleiadian dragon chakral invocation just by me speaking. But then when you receive an actual invocation, which is what we're going to do, we're going to invoke these dragons. We have already been talking about them, but we're going to instill their knowledge and in their codes into our being through a vocal toning. So for those of you who haven't experienced this before, it comes out in dragon tongue or light language. So it's like very speaking in tongues. There will be messages that come out in English. As I said, as my channel has gotten more clear, the messages come out in more English. So there's a lot of, it's a song that I sing. My conscious mind right now, like it's already pretty checked out because that's what happens when I channel, but it goes all the way away. And this is a little like a sampler, right? So everyone who's on the live now, who watches the live in the future, even if this is 4 years from now, your energy is in this invocation. And it's very similar to what you would receive during a bespoke invocation, where that's just a one-on-one session with you and I, which I'll talk about a little bit more. So if you've been wondering, like, oh, what is this bespoke invocation about? You're about to experience a group one, and it's very, very similar. It's just the bespoke ones are singular sessions, right? Which we'll talk about that in just a second after we do this. So let us remember who we're invoking. If you do have your pen and paper, keep it nearby, because you might have a new, like, my intention for this invocation is for you to receive the download for your soul's most desired intention for the new moon. So you might have written down some other things from your ego. I am sending to you the frequency of your soul's truest, purest desire of your next steps on the way, on the dragon's path back to source. So doing that, invoking Lilith and Archangel Gabriel's dragon, invoking Sekhmet and the blue dragon from the Pleiades, and invoking Kalima and the Omega dragons. Holy crap, that just got super intense. Feel free to stand up if that is helpful for you. I don't like to sit when I do these because it kinks my lower energy chakras to be sitting, right? Because my psoas is like, eh. So stand if you can. Use your feet chakras to, whether you're standing or sitting, use your feet chakras to suction cup yourself to the 12th dimensional light grid that is available here on planet Earth. We have access to 12th dimensional creative energy. Most light workers are only running 5th or 7th dimension because that's what we've been running on ever since December of 2012. Over the last 6 months, well, from the solar eclipse that happened on Christmas through now is when we've been upgrading. Like, so the solar eclipse that happened on Christmas is what opened it, and the solar eclipse that happened on, the lunar eclipse that happened on the 4th of July is what kind of solidified it when the Sirius portal opened, of 12th dimensional energy now being accessible to you. So you want to be running this level of energy on your meditations and seeing yourself as like a blip in a system where, like, every nun, every monk, anyone who's of any spiritual origin, you are kind of just like You don't need to know I'm doing this, but I'm just going to infuse your prayers with some 12D shit, because you don't, like, you're already tapped in, but I'm just going to, like, and then you get to really be that conduit. And the more you get used to having that 12D frequency in your human body, the less likely you are to experience that adrenal fatigue, chronic fatigue syndrome, any of those sort of like ascension type symptoms, as well as any nervous system issues, or just like literally like accelerating your spiritual ascension so fast that your human vessel becomes obsolete and you become what I call a supernova, someone who did a lot of great work and is super powerful among the cosmos, but is no longer here with us in physical form. So we don't want that. We want to experience pain and, we want to experience all the sensation here on planet Earth, choosing it as pleasure instead of pain, just as those of us in the orgasmic birth movement have learned and trained our bodies to experience the intense sensation of childbirth as an orgasm. Yes, that's what happened with my daughter. It's fucking crazy cool. That's what you do with life. Those bills, those cycles, those dark nights of the souls, those grievings, you get to experience all of that sensation. You get to run it through your body, and then you get to choose, you get to use your sovereignty to use all of that energy, all of that emotion, all of that energy in motion to help you with your quantum soaring, to really like use that as the fuel for when you need to flap. Think about those times that you really have to like feel all the feels as when you're actually flapping, and all the rest of the time you're just soaring and reaching higher and higher and higher heights. And there's no Icarus in this situation. You can fly as close to the fucking sun as you want. You can go to the galactic sun, which I do it pretty much every day. So standing in Tadasana. If you don't know what that is, it's mountain pose in yoga, so your hands are just facing forward, anatomical position for those of you who are geeky like I am. And just really make sure that your shoulders are flat, you're getting nice deep belly breaths, heart is up and open, chin is a little bit tucked so that you have that straight line out of the crown of your head, that soft spot on your head, up, and engaging your core, stabilizing you, a slight bend in the knees, and just standing, feeling yourself here. Taking a moment now to ground down into Gaia, however that works. Some of you like to create tree roots from the bottom of your feet. I see dragon tails emerging from the root chakras, going down and swirling around down, like hooking around the iron crystal core of Gaia. Whatever way keeps you grounded here on planet Earth, the easiest. And then just allowing for that energy exchange, that your energy is running down, feeding Pachamama, feeding the devas and the fairies and the nymphs and the elementals, giving them the information of what's going on here up above on the surface, and then receiving their divine information as well up and into you. Any messages. Realizing that when I say you're a conduit, what you are really doing is pulling in all these codes from source and letting them move into Gaia. You are only really meant to have a fraction of the codes that you feel in your big download. So when you feel that you're getting a really big download, recognize that a lot of that isn't for you. It's for the ascension. It's for everyone. It's for global consciousness. And that's why being able to tap into the light grid and just like send that information everywhere all at once and infuse it down into the crystals that are like the hard drives of Mother Earth is really important to keep your channel clear, so you're not trying to process all of it. A lot of you guys I can see you've got like a backlog. So let's just take a second and set the intention that any downloads that you've received from source that aren't for your soul's growth, you let them go. Let Kali Ma, you let that energy of whatever doesn't serve you personally be released down into Pachamama, whether that's information that she needs or whether that's just heavy, dense energy that you're ready to let go of so that it can be transmuted. Beautiful. Now taking a second to tune into your heart, and then allow that energy to swirl up into your throat, into your higher heart, clearing all that out, and up and into your third eye, creating that triangle between your throat, your third eye, and your well of dreams, which is there on the back of your neck. That soft spot right at the atlas, like where your neck meets your cervical spine meets your occiput. there's a triangle there that we just want to kind of clear out. That's really old wiring. What we're doing is actually sending 12-dimensional energy to our amygdala, to our reptilian brain, actually, the part of us that has that fight or flight system, to just upgrade it and let it realize that we don't need to be in survival mode anymore. Once you feel like you've done that, go ahead and shoot your energy all the way straight up to source, to the center of the womb. Well, it's really the opening. So the opening of the womb of no thing, of creation, where your higher self is, where the heart of your higher self sits, and receive those codes that you need. So just get in your cosmic elevator, shoot yourself up. A lot of you guys are hanging out in the 7th dimension. That tells me that there's a bunch of you ready for your dragon orders. So there's a 7th dimensional dragon academy that every starseed, crystalline children, indigo child went through. If you haven't received your marching orders yet, get those. And once you've gotten them, go ahead and jump up. When you go through a bespoke invocation, you learn your name from that time, and it's a lot easier to connect. But some of you are ready to get it, so we'll just sort of get them. Okay, cool. Now go ahead and send your energy all the way up. It's okay. Don't be afraid. You're in your own chakral elevator. You are grounded here on planet Earth. Your feet are standing on the ground, I promise. And you're just shooting your energy up to the 12th dimension. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. Hello, everyone. So now with your higher heart connected to the heart of Gaia and to the heart of Source, just allow yourself to receive this group dragon invocation and setting the intention again to receive the action step that your soul craves for you to take so that you can truly move forward on your soul's path, on your divine mission, and do the thing that needs to be done for you to be able to really soar in quantum flight, to rid yourself of the old chains and patterns, the old paradigms that you're ready to let go of. Letting this black moon in Lilith, this black moon in Cancer, infuse you with the energy of Lilith, of Sekhmet, and with Kali. Some of the very powerful, very fiery, very intense energies that are being turned into steam with this new moon still in Cancer. And that steam, as we know with the steam-powered engine, can be used as momentum to have that hot, steamy, pleasurable life that you crave. Oh, you are the one, you are the only one. We are one. We are the angels living on earth. Aviando lebesho. The mission is to know ourselves again. We are one. There is nothing that we cannot do. There is nothing that has power over us. We are one. All of the stories that have held us back, we release them now. All of the stories that have held our ancestors, we release them now. All of the stories filled with lies and fear, we release them now. We call in the truth, no matter how hard it is for our egos to take. We are ready. Angolo Bareava, Honshriambangere Ave Alobo, Hongyambareveo. Go ahead and say thank you to your higher self, to any guides or angels or ancestors or anyone who joined you during this meditation, this invocation. Knowing that they are always with us, we can call on them at any time, that we have tools in our metaphysical toolbox to be a pure channel for their messages. Coming back now down, receiving still that message, whatever is your next crucial step that your soul is longing for you to take. And as you come back down into your human body, recognizing that we are here on the 20th of July 2020 at 12:24 p.m. Mountain Time. Okay. Coming back into your body and taking just a moment to write down whatever it is that your soul, your higher self, told you. And any heaviness that you might be feeling, go ahead and just send that back down into Gaia, down into the earth. Let it be transmuted. Your feet might feel like they're on fire right now. That's super common if you're not used to tapping into the 12th dimensional grid. So the more you do this, the more you listen to invocations. There are literally dozens of them on the YouTube channel. When you receive your own, you're guided to listen to it for a certain amount of times. I still have people that reach out to me from months and months ago that say that they listen to it. It will help you get used to running this energy, and your feet won't be as hot. I saw purples and blues. That was awesome and amazing. Thank you. Yes, purples and blues have been coming in a whole lot. Someone channeled my brand colors like back in January, and I was like, oh, I don't know if this is right. And now all of a sudden, it's like constant. Almost every dragon that I even pull up is blue and purple. So, you know, throat and crown. It's really clearing this now, guys. We got to open this much. A lot of us have those this lower part, this lower path, like we really know what we value and we're willing to do it, and we have the creative flow and we know that we're provided for, but we're not willing to like open up this way because we sound like we're crazy, and there's a lot of fears. Thank you, Trinity. So for those of you who really loved this and are wanting to know how to leave my throat chakra, made my throat scratchy, saw light, blue hazes, lots of purple. Woo! Yes, Susan, so delicious. I love it. I love it, guys.